Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, what a market we had last week. That is, Jesus, they just closed in the green. I can't believe it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wealthdawn. And this is the Before the Bell live edition. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to go over a market recap, over the indices. We're going to do a biggest pre-market movers and of course today's key events, which is not that many, and my daily market watch list for a couple of trades. So trades for today, let's see how they set up. And let's see what we can do about them, because the market just tanked the last week, ending up the day in 0.98% in the positive. That's the S&P 500. Now the futures are currently pointing higher. Take a look at that little fellow. Come on, boy, you can do it. Go up there. NASDAQ also up 0.59%. Now, we really need a bounce in the market, but can we hold this bounce? Let's take a look here at the SPY. So the SPY currently, this is the SPY. Let's go at the SPX. S&P 500 right here. Now it's in the cloud, so we need to be really, really careful. We could have a bounce. We also could just nothing happened. Like Marco Bori wasn't out there making some noise about he's the best evaluator. All of a sudden, Michael Burry can do also consulting for economy or book cooking because he knows how to evaluate those servers. Now, I don't think he knows that well. He's a great investor, don't get me wrong, but I don't think anybody knows how to evaluate the lifetime of those servers. So S&P currently in the future market, again, go to the SPY here, is up from even its previous close. So the Friday close where it had a green candle here. Also the triple Qs, let's take a look at Qs here. They should also be in the green zone. And we are good to go for this week for a couple of good trades maybe. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently in the pre-market up. So this is the IBIT iShares Bitcoin ETF, which I like to trade on the options chain. If you just want to buy Bitcoin, then buy it and hold it on a ledger, and that's the end of it. If you want to trade it, then I love this this ETF because, well, it's liquid enough in order for us to trade, and it's cheap enough. So for the price here, okay, because it has a $48 share currently. Now the MACD is still in a selling frenzy here. The RSI is a little bit oversold. Remember, this is Bitcoin. This could get so far oversold that your hair is going to turn white. Also, let's take a look at the dollar index. Let me move this. So this is live. It's a bit slow than my videos. I'm a bit slower. I'm an old person here. Okay, let's go ahead, take a look at the dollar index. Dollar down 10% because it was up beautifully. Go to the chart here. It was so beautifully up there. Hit the $100 mark right there, and then it turned. Well, it turned today, so we could see a little bit of dollar weakening, but it has underneath of it the support of the 100-day moving average. Now the turnaround. No, wait, that's the 200-day moving average. The dollar is steadily going up. Is this the moment to do a dollar trade here? I would think so. We're going to come back to this at the end of the video, when we're going to, at the end of the live stream, we're going to go do a couple of possible trade setups here. Remember, the market is closed, so I can only work with the data that I have currently, but you should check them out after the market opens, because that's what I do. If the market opens, I let it calm down a bit, excepting when I'm selling something, because it has the highest volatility, and that's when I'm selling stuff. Anything else than that, I let the market calm down just a tinge. Okay? Because in the first hour, you can see things go up, and then in the next hour, you can see things come down again. So dollar holding there. Let's see if it can also hold throughout the day. The VIX is coming down nicely. Though it ticked up just a little bit day once more. Huh. But it's down from its highs. So let's see what happens there. The Dow Jones had on Friday a green day. So let's see how it does today. Now let's take a look at oil. Oil still selling off, which is good. I'm going to come back to this later on in the video. We're going to talk about a pretty good setup maybe for oil. We already talked about gold, did we? No, we didn't talk about gold. Gold holding that 25 day moving average. Mwah, beautiful setup. We're going to talk about a setup. Going to talk about this later on. Silver also holding their copper. We're looking for that 50-day moving average. So let's see if we reach it. Not going to talk about. Let's do a US dollar Japanese yen. So is this a beautiful setup or what? US dollar Japanese yen had a pullback, and we may be going to see this hitting the 150-day, the 20-day moving average at 154 points there, and then it's a beautiful setup for another trade. Also talking about Bitcoin, it's coming out of this beautiful support zone from the April lows. Is this the moment to go all in, sell your kids, mortgage your house on it? Let's wait. Let's wait. Let it come out of this resistance zone. Now it's support zone. Let's let it come out of it. Let's see what it does with the 10-day, 25-day moving average, or 20-day moving average, and let's see what happens after that. Okay, major events this week. Let's see here. None. Today, at least. Next week, tomorrow we have PPI, retail sales, and Wednesday we have building permits, durable goods, core PCE. So we have a really interesting week in front of us. All the data is going to come out. So we're going to see some volatility in the market probably. Other than that, a couple of news there about war. So oil is coming down on that. So nothing to worry about there. You see oil sparking, then that's where you should really worry. Oil spikes now, not if it comes down. Also, as I promised, I'm going to do a video on energy stocks. I'm going to create a portfolio out of not the top 10, not the top 5 of the energy stocks that I think will outperform the next 3 years. They're not going to outperform tomorrow, not in the beginning of 2026. But they are going to outperform. I can feel it in my bones. Okay, so we had our S&P, we had our Nasdaq, we had our VIX, we have the dollar. Bonds. Let's take a look at TLT. What is TLT doing here? Let's take a look at TLT. 20D. I should score 20. Woo! Above. Yes, I already check out my previous video, which is the weekly recap, and also where I'm also sharing my trades. I did a trade there in TLT. Check it out how that went. Just check it out, okay? You're going to see all of my trades there. And also a couple of rundowns on the stocks that reported earnings last week. Okay, talking about earnings, let's now move to earnings this week because they're not that much left anymore. But especially today, we have one company, ZM, that is Zoom Communications, that I'm extremely interested in. So sold off. Hold it then on Friday. Today it's up above its 100-day moving average. Let me see. We are in the dailies. Yes. Man, this company is going to report today after the bell. And I already bought some shares. So I'm going to share it right here with you. I think this is going to rip. Maybe it's face off. We're going to see a big sell-off because already looking back here, it also had a nice little sell-off. And now August heading into September, or actually from June heading into September, and then came up, and yeah. So let's see how they perform. They're underperforming right now, going into their earnings, sold off a bit. Maybe we're going to see a reversal candle here, and that is going to do maybe nothing because it's still in this consolidation range. Now, of course, when we're talking about Zoom, remember what company we're talking about. We're talking about the company that has had its peak in the pandemic. Why am I bullish on? Am I bullish? Yes, I'm bullish. Why am I bullish on this company? Simply because it has already so the user base that is currently right now, it's sustainable. It has now a sustainable, secured user base from which it could just grow. Will teams beat them? I don't know. I don't think so. They're pretty much focused on that one thing, and they also have Zoom calls. So don't have to buy those nasty cards anymore. SIM cards can get a number from Zoom. I'm really bullish on this stock. Let's see how they perform. I didn't bet the house on them. I have a small position in Zoom. Let's see how they perform. We're going to go over the earnings tomorrow after they're going to report after the bell. Okay. We also have Symbotic. Got this company, Symbotic. What am I doing here? I can't write them out. Symbotic. Ticker symbol SYM. Also reporting today after the bell. Down, but also have really high hopes for this stock. So let's see how they perform. I'm not going to talk too much about Symbotic. Well, let's just say I'm not that deep in the stock. I have really, really small position. I have really small position, and it's mostly a trade right now. But I am bullish. Okay, so if this works out, then going to make a little bit of money out there. Okay, let's move on now for stocks on the watch list. Switch here to this little fellow. Okay, stocks on the watch list. Let's start with Bitcoin. So IBIT, I would just say that in IBIT, oh, by the way, okay, let's do IBIT. I'm going to come back to Peloton Network. IBIT. This, ladies and gentlemen, wait for my password again. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect setup for selling some puts underneath the expected range for this week. So let's go to the options chain here. Let's see for today or this week, we could sell a 44.5 strike. It would get us, if we get filled at the middle, then we could get a 63 cents, and we could risk for it 1,525 buying power. Now, I would like to see here at least half of what I'm betting in. So 22 now, we are above half. This would be a good trade. This could be a good trade. So in 1 week, getting 63 for risking 154, and enough. If you're going to be assigned, you're going to be assigned to Bitcoin ETF, which is not that bad. You could also roll it. So if you're not that bullish on this, then maybe go a little bit further down. You are not that rewarded then, getting only 46 cents, but hey. This is not a bad trade. Moving on, let's also take a look at oil, USO. Now I'm going to trade here the ETF, so not the futures, and we only have not the 2-day, the 4-day. Let's see if we get here some. Okay, we're getting half, but it's not bad, even more than half. So I really want to see outside of the expected move. So this is dangerous. It's asking a lot of money. It's really short short trade, asking a lot of money and going down to 67, even outside the Bollinger move. So I think this is going to pop up there, and you can get the money. But it's asking for 3,243 in the buying power. That's not a trade for me. Let's go out to the monthly. We don't have the expected move because a lot of expiration has ended. The monthly expiration has ended on last Friday. So we need the market to open here, but we can see right after right before a standard deviation, could get 59, and that's not enough for risking 2,000 something. I would go deeper, but I want to see the expected move. Not going to calculate it. On 18 days, you have $4. So this would be, let's see, $4 we have there. So this would be a $5 expected move, maybe. So $5.69. Yeah, it would be somewhere here. And you can also see how huge the gap is. So getting 6.73 cents or $73 because of 100 multiplier and risking 3,000. Nope. Not a good setup for me, but for what it is a good setup is maybe going here. Let's go to the monthly. Going here a strangle. Now you should skew this strangle. Skew the strangle up here and go here. So this would double your income and asks from you 3,000. Now this is not even 10% for 1 month, and we are looking for a 2 to 3% return. But remember, 2 to 3% is the return that I want to get, and I need to be thoughtful here that I'm going to sell this at 50%. Okay, so I'm going to sell it at 50% profit. I'm not going to wait for that 100%. That is, everything can happen here in 25 days. So if I hit 50%, then I'm gone. 50% out of this would be $76, and $76 would be again percentage of what? Yeah, no setup here for oil. Let's move on. Let's move on to gold, GLD. So gold, or if it's too expensive for you because it's a $374 trade. So if we go to the weeklies, we can have here also the standard deviation. Let's see how much it asks from us. Ooh, 6,000. That's a lot. Risking 6,000 to get 138. That's a lot. Let's go to GDX. GDX. Why am I typing? XD GDX. Let's see on the dailies. So right here, I expect to move, but this looks risky. A 71. So it's right here. Could happen. I would be more comfortable between the 67 and 68. Let's call it a 67.5. Let's see if we get that trade. 60. Once more, 67. 67. Oh, you're getting nothing there. So for today, you're getting, for the next 40 days, you're getting nothing there. It's extremely risky trade. Now, outside of expected move, you go to the 1 standard deviation, risking not that much. We are risking $1,100 in buying power in order to get 48, and it's above 0.5% of what the strike price is. That is not bad. Okay. So yeah, that's a really nice trade. Also, let me show you something. We are currently sitting right here. A even better trade, I would say, is remaining. Let's just say it remains between the Bollinger Bands, and that would mean let's do here a nice little strangle. It would cost us roughly the same, but yield us much more money. Okay, so if I take this down, just look at the buying power. Stays the same. Stays the same, and I'm going to get double the return. So if I would move in here, yeah. So take a look at this when the market opens. This is, I believe, the best trade setup that we could have now, because we're dead in the middle of it. So I would say that but we're not going to do it on the 4 days. We're going to do it here. And I want to go outside, and outside, so we're going to do it on the 19th of December expiration date, which again is a monthly expiration date. We don't have the real data right now, but just take a look at this wonderful setup. So risking 741, make 176. Beautiful setup. Chance of making a profit 75%. Want to go out even further? Please feel free to do so. Go outside of 1 standard deviation. You're going to get 148. Now remember, you could hit this 148 anywhere in that range. But if you don't hit it, if you hit only 50%, where I would take off the strangle. If I would hit 50%, get 70 bucks, risking 741. Mwah, beautiful setup. Beautiful setup for this trade. Okay, moving on. As I said, Palo Alto Network just had its earnings last week, and this is a beautiful setup for a naked put, never ever to reach that 175. It would take you $2,817 in buying power, but this is almost worth it. For it to reach the 175, let's see here, 175 would be down here somewhere, okay? 175 down here. It could hit it, and if you do hit it, it's just, let's do it here. We go here. Got the ticker symbol again. Let's just type in Palo Alto Network. PANW. So pre-market, the stock is up, hitting this down here, selling a naked put on the monthlies. Then on the 166 is possible that, but selling the 175. This little fellow right here. Okay. Perfect trade. Perfect trade. But it does cost some money. In the worst case, you're getting to have a good stock at a very good price. Let's take a look at the options chain once more. Here we go. At the 175, you're going to get roughly $86 and risk 2,800. So this is, to be assigned. So this is what you need in buying power. But what you would, at the end of the day, risk is $17,000. Okay, because you will be assigned to this stock, and that's what you need then in options buying power. Okay, in stock buying power. Okay, but 93% chance of winning. I would take that trade any day. Okay, also let's take a look at Nvidia. What do you think of Nvidia in the next couple of days? 167. Getting here on a naked put. Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. So you have to put up $4,000. Getting assigned at $16,000. But if not, you're going to get $161 in 1 week. So this is not a strangle. Let's take a look at the diagram here. This is not a strangle. This is a nice possibility. Or if I would do a strangle, I would go outside the 161 and somewhere at the 200s level, because even higher, 210, 213 previous highs. This could happen in just a couple of days. So Nvidia is not a stock that you would discount here. Let's see the 200. I'm not going to get that much. So we would really have to, boom, delete all of this. You wouldn't really need to go outside here. You would need 3,060, 100,000. Nah, this is not a good trade. This is not a good trade. Also inside of the expected move or the 2 standard deviations, getting 84 bucks for risking 6,700. Your max loss could be even higher. Now, neglect this CVAR, the CVAR, because I already have a position with, you can see on the right side. I also went over this, how I traded Nvidia last week, or went over it on the previous videos. Definitely check out the previous video with market recap for the last week. I also recap my trades. Okay, now that's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for Before the Bell edition of Wealth Down with me, Menhart Norbert, where we build and protect wealth through smart trading. Okay, that's it for me. Take care. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.